My kids didn't even get that. They got nothing. Nothing.
Lee, let me ask you this. Without again, I'm not asking for specifics, but the level and type of criminal activity, and I'm just very interested because you were talking about you're dealing with in the projects and then drug dealers and guns and all that stuff like that. Now you're in the intel counterterrorism field. Same type of criminal, different.
No, now you're dealing with like it's more involved. You know what I mean? It's like patrol guys. Like I'll give you an example. Patrol guys get a call for like a child in danger. You know, like ACS is at a house, but they got a call that shots were fired in the house. So everybody goes there. Nobody sees anything. No, nothing out of the ordinary. The kid's not even there. So they called. My lieutenant was like, you know what, this doesn't fit. Something's not right. They called us down, and the lady let us. They were like, "Oh, come on in. You want to take a look? There's nothing going on here." Well, we go down to the basement, and what do you find? You find like a drill press and plastic shavings on the floor. And then it's like, all right, so that piques your interest because it's weird, just because where it's placed. And then it's, then you find like half of like a jig for like an 80% lower, and none of the cops there know what the heck it is.
Yeah,
I knew what it was, and that was so early on that even like when I called the ADAs, because now I want to tear the house apart. You know what I mean? I want to tear the drywall off the walls to find this gun, but nobody understands that they're building rifles in this house. So I had to like FaceTime the ADA to explain to him, hey, drill press, tools, jig, shavings. There's a gun here. We got to find it. And then it was, I had to show them on FaceTime and it was like one of the first ghost gun cases to come out of Staten Island. And then we were able to finally convince them, and they gave us a warrant. We pulled 2 of them out of the attic.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's just, now. Were you trained on this stuff, or is it just you picked it up, or how did that?
Again, it was one of those things where I was new to the team. I was new to that world, and I didn't want to be left in the dust by everybody that was there for a little while.
Yeah.
So I used to read up on this stuff on my own just to become familiar with it, so that I would be part of the conversations. Like when it came to tactical plans, I'm here. Like I said, after I found that hand grenade, I was like, all right, this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm all in. Let's figure this out. This is my career. My father always said, no job is worth doing if it's not worth doing well.
Exactly right.
That's very good.
So I was just, you know what? Let's do this. If I'm going to do it, I'm all in. So I picked my spots to learn, to catch up to speed with everybody else, and know my stuff. And that's how we figured a lot of that stuff out. And then to the point where I had to teach like the other guys what to look for.
So this is where this is some conversations that have been happening recently. The profession of law enforcement, right? And I do see it as a profession, but there's levels to it. And I think you've done a very excellent job, whether you realize realize it or not. You've described the progression of your law enforcement career, but also it's very indicative of law enforcement in general, right? That you need the cops down there running the foot patrol. Just your presence is a deterrent. That type of a thing. That's that's a real thing.
Presence,
and then your presence. Well, should be, could be. We'll just stick with it for now. But and then you're going into patrol stuff, and then you're searching cars, right? And then now we're moving into getting drugs off the street, and learning that. Now we're into, and this is where I think all aspects are necessary, right? Because again, in all aspects, you were busy, and you can see your face light up with all the different, the housing, the conditions, all these things, right? You're like, you enjoyed it, and now you're in intel and counterterrorism stuff, which unfortunately is a necessity now. Once again, these are all facets of. Think about it, law enforcement. Same guy who fucking grinded out every day because he hated fucking the police academy, doing push-ups in sweat puddles, is now going to a judge's house to get warrants and having to do research on ghosts. You see what I'm saying? Like the progression of law enforcement and what it is as a profession.